You're listening to Overwatch Contenders Daily, your path to daily news, scores, and insights into the Overwatch League stars of tomorrow. Here's your host, LemonKiwi.
Overwatch fans, welcome to a very special edition of Overwatch Contenders Daily. I'm your host, LemonKiwi. Today, we'll be exploring the stories behind the two grand finalists of Contenders North America. It's Fusion University versus XL2 Academy. These guys battled it out at the LA group stage at the World Cup this past weekend. Stay tuned for Fusion Uni's video. Today is all about XL2 Academy, their grind, being undefeated in the regular season, heading into the grand finals. We got the inside scoop of their thoughts before the match, after the match, and the biggest plays you missed at the grand finals. Check it out. XL2 kicked off Season 2 with some pretty big roster changes. Wuyall and Teasy, former London Spitfire players, joined the team along with second coach IoStux. XL2 cleared the regular season undefeated, only dropping 4 maps, so they finished with a 17-4 map record and first seed in their group. In playoffs, they defeated Mayhem Academy in a 3-0 sweep in the quarterfinals, but unfortunately were taken to a map 5 in their semifinal against NRG. Nonetheless, it seemed clear from the start of playoffs who the two grand finalists were going to be. Fusion University cleared their side of the bracket, and the grand finals are set. XL2 will face past Contenders champions Fusion University for the NA Contenders crown. Before Contenders Finals began, I sat down with XL2's coach, Stux, for some thoughts about their match. And I'm joined here with Stux, head coach of XL2, heading into the grand finals versus Fusion University. I mean, starting off with, how are you feeling? This is a big match coming up.
I'm a little nervous, not so much because I don't think we're prepared. It's mostly just my first LAN event, so everything is kind of new, the environment is very new, and it's quite a big difference, because this is actually the first time that I've met my teammates in person, right? I've been coaching them remotely so far. But other than that, in terms of the match today, I think we are very, very well prepared. Like everyone, after we won our semi-finals match against NRG, you know, it just sparked this fire inside of us, and we used that energy all the way until today to really put everything we've got into practice. So, yeah, I think we'll be fine. I'm confident.
I liked your pun of using that NRG in the finals, but you got snacks, you got caffeine, you got practice room, and I know it can be a little nerve-wracking with the first time being on the stage for some of you. But NRG, that semi-final match was a little close, the Game 5 win, but regular season was smooth as butter. So what were you struggling with in that NRG semi-final that you're hoping to correct for the finals?
We were actually very surprised at certain points during the NRG match because we kind of did some work scouting what they're going to run, how they play. And, you know, them picking up Rascal has really, you know, that was quite a big change to their team. So especially when they, you know, pulled out the Mei in the game, we kind of had to figure out, okay, no other team is running this. And this was kind of the first time that we really had to play against this. I don't think that we'll face issues like that against Fusion, because we think that we've had this much time to prepare against Fusion. So I think we're a bit more confident in, you know, knowing what they're going to run versus NRG.
So you know maybe what Fusion's going to run, but it's a tough opponent. They're looking for another championship. Maybe you guys are looking for your first. It's going to be a good match either way, but what kind of weaknesses or what cracks in the armor do you see in Fusion University that you're hoping your team will exploit?
Well, I think it's no secret that Fusion has its strength in its DPS players mostly, and Elk as an in-game leader, of course. Whereas we have strengths in a lot of different areas, right? We can run a variety of comps, and I think it's going to be very difficult for Fusion to really predict what we're going to run on each map. Whereas, you know, they have Who Are You, they have Zachary, and we know that they're really good on characters like Genji, for example. So that's the kind of stuff that we expect from them going into the final. So I think we're going to be more flexible, and we're going to run a larger variety of compositions that we've practiced. So it's going to be harder for them to deal with that.
So trying to test their adaptability, bringing out some pocket strategies that we're not going to leak into this interview. But Hey, it's World Cup day 1. I mean, Mangachu on Team Canada has had a long day of matches. So as the coach, are you worried that maybe he's tired, getting exhausted near the finals at the end of the day? Or do you think day 1 is serving as a good warm-up for him?
We think it's a good warm-up. I've been talking a lot to Jane, who's the head coach for Team Canada, and he's been very, very helpful. Like, he completely understands Mangachu's situation. He understands that, you know, it can be very stressful to play this many matches in a day. So he made sure that during the practice and during the matches on stage, that he found, you know, a really good balance between, you know, using Mangachu's strength and, you know, also giving him some time to rest. But I think he'll be ready to NYXL in the finals.
You killed it. You killed it.
Good.
Hope your coaching is better than your jokes.
I'm pretty sure it is. I can.
We hope so.
Yes.
Well, we're glad that Mangachu is rested up and he's serving this as a warm-up, and Jane's taking very good care of him. So going into the match now today, of course, you're very confident in your team, but what do you think the final scoreline is going to be between you guys? And maybe are there any game types that you're more or less confident in?
So I would say that we have some aces up our sleeves for our 2CP especially. I think that, you know, people are going to be a little surprised at what we managed to pull out on those maps. I think there's no denying that Fusion, you know, especially with their huge win streak that they're on over 2 contender season, they have earned, you know, all of the respect that we can give them. Like, this is going to be an incredibly tough match for us, and we don't deny that. I think in terms of scoreline, I think I don't want to say it, but I think it could actually go to a map 8 if both teams really play their hearts out.
All the way.
And depending on, you know, what they end up running, how well we ended up preparing, I think we can, whatever's going to happen, I think we can put on a show for everyone, definitely.
The first map takes us to Ilios on Lighthouse. Fusion University lead the first capture of the point with an unorthodox DPS combination of Sombra from Zachary and Doomfist from Who Are You, paired with the usual dive tanks. XL2 were able to regain control after some really huge plays from Nene, stunning Beast Halo mid-primal, taking out Fusion's main healer Alarm with a Deadeye. So Fusion swap to a triple tank, triple support goats with Ana composition to pressure the point and retake that from XL2. With ultimates to spare, a finishing grab from Fusion spells the defeat of the first point, 100-53. On the second point of Ruins, XL2 tried their hand at the triple tank, triple support composition, and Fusion bring back their signature Sombra Doomfist dive. Who Are You's Doomfist continues to pressure XL2 in the first fight, and the first capture goes to Fusion. An unfortunate missed Graviton from Nene, a missed Shatter from TZ, and Goliath's Coalescence cancelled from Zachary's EMP spells the defeat in the final fight to retake the point, and Ruins ends 100% to 0 for Fusion University. Tizzy was substituted out for Clone Man, and Mangachu came in for Nanohana on the second map of King's Row. So Clone Man being a Reinhardt specialist and Mangachu a fantastic projectile flex player made perfect sense for XL2 to make these changes for this map. Fusion University's defense is quite predictable. It's the return of the Sombra Doomfist dive. XL2 on their attack, they bring out Nene on his own Sombra, a hero he was quite known for in previous Sombra heavy metas. And Mangachu brings out the Brigitte, perhaps in hopes of slowing down Who Are You and the rest of the dive heavy Fusion on their attacks. XL2 made attempts at pushing the point. Fusion just did a great job at surrounding them at all angles, rotating to the high ground and keeping their healers safe. In the last minute of the game, a tireless fight and respawn advantage finally leads XL2 to chunk Fusion down enough to take the point. So XL2 continue the street phase where they continue to struggle and get through the main choke, and Fusion just don't let up on their aggression.
Another EMP up, that's why he's in here, and he's just gonna drop it immediately. Fusion, they wanna go! Who Are You gets Mangachu, and immediately unbridled aggression striking from Fusion.
Mangachu has to swap to Doomfist in order in hopes of countering Who Are You and the backline dives that Beast Halo kept doing. So this eventually got the ball rolling for XL2 until, unfortunately, in the middle of a push, Mangachu dies a 96% Meteor Strike, an ultimate that would have gotten him out of that position. And while trying to save Mangachu, Clone Man and Wuyal are just dealt with, so XL2 have to give up all that space they just made in the last minute of play. And with an EMP to spare, Fusion dives XL2's backline and finishes the fight before XL2 can even get set up for a final fight, and the cart for XL2 is stopped meters short of point B. XL2 are left to hold a defense good enough to stop Fusion before point B. XL2 tried their hand at another triple tank, triple support composition, while Fusion replicate their Sombra Doomfist dive on attack. Goliath is caught out of position and is just quickly collapsed on by Fusion, while Clone Man pins Beast Halo away from the fight. XL2 do not find a good opportunity to pressure the point and take back the point from Fusion, so Fusion cap it right before their eyes.
The sleep is woken accidentally by the Ryan. Now who are you in? Picks up Mangachu, going for more. Oh, no! Point split. This is the worst case scenario for XL2 Academy.
Letter number, you gotta stand the point there.
XL2 stay patient and start a good defense in street phase. This is where Zachary brings out the Mei, and they set up some kind of wall smash plays with the Who Are You's Doomfist. But it doesn't matter, because XL2 continue to stifle the aggression from Fusion. But a huge 5-man grab from Bernard traps XL2 and finishes them off. So although Nene, valiantly takes out half of Fusion, Fusion continue to deny XL2 that space, and they push the cart to the box of victory, winning King's Row, and Fusion go up 2-0 in the series. On the third map of Temple of Anubis, TZ and Nanohana are brought back in place of Clone Man and Mangachu. Fusion's defense is their usual dive with Sombra, but this time they have Who Are You on the Genji. On their attack, XL2 choose a triple support Deathball Sombra composition type. And TZ's Reinhardt isn't the right call against the way Fusion's defense are set up. They're all on the high ground and he just can't do anything. So eventually TZ swaps to the Winston, realizing the team needs to push this high ground where Fusion are setting up. A Nano Blade from Who Are You and the pressure from Fusion continuously forces XL2 to reset their attacks.
The Nano Blade, this could be big.
Yeah, it's not 4 AM and you still have to be scared. That's the real tragedy about this, is here comes Who Are You. Blade coming out, but he's zoned down to the fight. Now down to about 2 seconds, but 2 seconds might be all he needs. Takes down Adam, slices on through. Tons of damage happening to XL2.
In the last minute of play, XL2 dumped almost every ultimate they had to take their final stand on the point. And Fusion give up some space and freely give up 2 ticks before they go for one last push. So a Transcendence from Alarm guides Fusion back for one last defense where Beast Halo just pops off thanks to the nano boost from Elk. Fusion deny point A to XL2. XL2 have to full hold A if they just want to make this series close. They're already down 2-0. A new look comes out from XL2 though. They have a more common Orisa, Diva, Junkrat, Widow defense. Fusion swap roles interestingly. They have Zachary break out on his first showing of Doomfist, and Beast Halo brings out the Hammond. Adam's Mercy unfortunately is the first to fall, resulting in a snowball from Fusion onto the point for a very quick victory, and now XL2 are down 3-0 in the series. Mangachu and Clone Man are substituted back in the possible final map of XL2's season, moving on to escort map of Rialto. XL2 are on attack first, and Mangachu is seen on his most notable hero, the Pharah, and Nene is on Sombra with the dive tanks to start. And XL2's attack on Rialto starts off with very solid progress on the payload, with Mangachu's Pharah targeting Fusion's backline. Fusion, though, they make this miraculous last stand on point A with a quick nano boost onto Beast Halo, who chases after the exposed supports of XL2 and forces them to reset. In less than a minute left to push point A, Nene's EMP, something they were counting on, is just countered by Alarm's Transcendence that keeps Fusion topped up, and XL2 are just unable to get the quick finish, the quick fight win they need from all the early fight ultimates that were used, and XL2 are stopped short of point A. So XL2's last chance at keeping the series alive is hoping for a 4-minute hold of Rialto on point A, and this is something very possible to achieve, especially on this map. So XL2 replicate their Sombra Deathball defense, and Fusion return with their Sombra Genji dive. Interestingly, XL2 try to hold close to Fusion's spawn, but a Doomfist swap from Who Are You just smashes XL2 away. So with XL2 trying to run away, they're on the back foot to retreat. They get pinched from Fusion's aggressive dives, and Fusion build enough space to push the cart to point A to take the final map of Rialto and the series 4-0.
The nano boost on Beast Halo, cleaving absolutely everybody on the cart. The final seconds of NA Contenders. Fusion absolutely looking to close out here. So much presence on this cart.
It's Wuyo trying to buy time. The XL2 season on the line. Fusion University, you are the champions.
After the match, we sat down with Mangachu to get his afterthoughts on how the grand finals went for him. And I'm joined here with Mangachu from Team Canada and XL2. You had quite an eventful weekend, to say the least. But let's start with just how do you feel representing Canada on an international level while also being a grand finalist in Contenders?
Representing Canada has always been amazing. You know, I did it last year, and I played a different role than I usually play. So last year was a little crazy, but now that I'm back on my main role and playing it on both teams, it's been pretty good. XL2, I've never qualified for a LAN before through online play. So our match against NRG was probably one of the most emotional for me. And just being able to play on LAN was awesome.
That was a close game 5.
Oh, yeah. Very close.
Very close. And then, well, you guys deserve to be here either way. And it's always great to see you at the top wherever you are. But you had a ton of Team Canada matches yesterday, and you had to go to the grand finals. So at the end of the day, were you exhausted, or were you feeling warmed up for your grand finals match?
I'd have to go with exhausted, unfortunately. I had to wake up at a pretty early time. It was like 6 a.m. or something to take a shuttle to get here. So the scheduling was a little bit unfortunate for Contenders, but I mean, Fusion is such a good team that even if I was warmed up and awake, I wouldn't be surprised if the results stayed the same. They're very good.
Yeah. I was talking to Zachary, who was kind of in the same situation as you yesterday, and how, well, it looks like he was set aside to only focus on Contenders. And you had to juggle all of this stuff at once, although you guys had very good results for Team Canada, so that probably motivated you for the grand finals. So
Yep.
I was curious about the substitutions. Now going to the Contenders grand finals, you had Clone Man and TZ swapping in and out for the tanks, and you had yourself and Nanohana swapping in and out. So what was the reason behind those decisions?
Well, when it comes down to it, Contenders is pretty much just a way of showcasing talent for Overwatch League teams. So when we signed Tizzy and Huyal to the team, we wanted to keep Clone Man for his Reinhardt play. He's very good at Reinhardt.
Right.
So we ended up swapping him in for a couple maps just to say, hey, look at this guy. He's also good at this. Tizzy's a phenomenal Winston, as you know. So, yeah, with that, we just wanted to showcase those two. And with Flower and I, Flower is very good at the dive heroes like Genji and Doomfist, and I'm pretty good at the other heroes like Hanzo or
The random heroes.
The random heroes, the cheesy heroes. Or as I like to call myself, the silly heroes.
Silly heroes. That's what the casters say, too.
Yeah. So with Flower and I, or Nanohana and I, it's more map dependent, but with Tizzy and Huyal, or Tizzy and Clone Man, it's just a showcase of talents.
It's been great to see all you guys on stage, and unfortunately, it wasn't the result that anyone was expecting. I don't even think you were expecting that, but long day for everybody, and it was still a very entertaining grand finals to watch. So it was very interesting to talk to Fusion about the strategies that they brought out against you, the Doomfist and the Sombras. So as XL2, how were you guys trying to figure out how to adapt to this? What was going through your mind?
I don't think there was much adaptation, if I'm going to be honest. Like, Doomfist Sombra is just like a pretty hard counter into goats, and we spent a lot of time playing goats.
Yeah.
So when it came down to it and we ended up getting countered, we just kind of crumbled a little bit.
So, like, how were you trying to keep the morals up, I guess, during the series? Was it trying to figure out different strategies or just trying to get through it?
We were trying to be very hard, like in comms and stuff, to be positive, you know. On maps where I usually come in, literally the first thing I would say is it's winnable.
Winnable.
And people would laugh.
Always
you know,
winnable.
we have a good time. After we lost on Tibble with Ubis, I sat down and I asked, how do you guys feel about a reverse 4-0? Didn't work out, but I mean, you know.
The possibility's always there.
Yeah, you know, you always got to go in with a positive mindset.
Well, I think you at least had fun in your Canada matches. I saw the Torbjorn. You're trying to hammer everyone to death.
I
And
always try to do that.
wasn't the ending of the night that we all expected, but it was very entertaining to see the finals, the LAN finals between Fusion and XL2 that we were all hoping for. But now, looking into the future, what does your future look like? What is the future of XL2 and Overwatch League expanding? Are you staying with the team? Are you going to try and grow? What's your plans?
Well, I mean, I think it's obvious for most people that the main goal is to be in the Overwatch League, and that is mine as well. I would really like to represent either Vancouver or Toronto, being Canadian. You know, just representing my own country would be amazing, even though I'm already doing it. But, you know, just an Overwatch League would be even better. But if things didn't work out with that, I would honestly be very happy here. I think the organization is great, and they take really good care of us. And if a couple of my teammates stay with me too, I also wouldn't complain because they're all great guys.
I hope you guys stay as a team, but I'm also very happy if any of you guys got to the Overwatch League. I think you're all age eligible, but I'm so excited for your futures. Getting to the grand finals is still an achievement not a lot of people can say, and I still was entertained to watch. Always happy to see you on the stage, whether it's for Team Canada or XL2. But thank you so much for joining me for this interview, Liam. And this was Overwatch Contenders Daily, guys. I'm LemonKiwi. We're going to see you guys next week.